There's a rumor, and I've always wanted to ask you this. When you were rehearsing the Ländler, I don't think I had arrived yet. Did you show up in tights to rehearse the dance? There's this joke going around that you did.
Well, I always wore tights when I learned the dance.
I'm serious. Did you do it as it must have been a joke, right?
Well, of course it was, but they took it absolutely straight. They thought, who is this extraordinary sort of Fargol who has come into the room? He looked like one of those Albanian vampires who were supposed to wear high heels, you know. They come back.
I saw you do a Hamlet and your legs were great, so I was wondering if you were just
showing off.
Yes.
No. No, I thought that was honestly what you're supposed to do. I guess I'd seen too many ballets when I was young.
Well, you were in rehearsal clothes, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
that's right. I thought that's what you do in your rehearsal.
I loved shooting that scene.
Well, it was magical, and you were extraordinary in it because I danced like some ghastly cripple. I'm really the worst dancer in the world.
Yeah.
No, but when you get paid for it, you know, suddenly
you have wings.
You find you have wings. You really carried me through that.
Well, there was a lot of subtext in that scene. There were a few that had a lot of subtext.
Yeah, we fell in love,
yeah.
And it wasn't difficult to fall in love.
No.
Not with you, darling, the way you looked. I'd already fallen in love with myself in my tights earlier, but I'd forgotten about that when you came on.
But there was a lot of unspoken something going on there, for real, for the characters.
Yes,
and then,
I think so.
And there was a lot in... when I came back from the Abbey, I think there was some subtext there about you're wondering if I was going to stay or not going to stay.
Yes, well, I was always both released as Captain Von Trapp and me, that whenever you came back from the Abbey, I just missed you dreadfully when you went around.
You know, I was thinking, and I was wondering two things. Why did you run away to the Abbey? And what was it that made you come back?
Well, I had an obligation to fulfill, and I came back to fulfill it.
Is that all?
And I missed the children.
Yeah. Only the children?
No.
Something that you say just before the gazebo scene began. Bob let us work that up a little bit.
Yes.
And you said something like, well, things were all wrong when you went away. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you got terribly sort of petty about it.
Yes, and petulant.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, nothing was the same when you were away, and it'll be all wrong again after you leave. And I just thought perhaps you might change your mind.
Yeah, and I loved that. I adored that.
Well, that was Ernie again, you know.
Was it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he really
But it
made
was
it
your
very good.
but it was your interpretation of it, though. You got kind of. It wasn't easy when Maria was away, and you much preferred having things smooth, which I think a lot of husbands and guys do, you know.
Well, I mean, I think he was also irritated with what he thought was her nun-like habits, only to discover that she wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
And that threw him, too.
Yes.
I don't think he liked being fooled like that.
Yes.
Well, I made a remark earlier when they asked me, what was your favorite time? I said, off the set.
Oh.
No.
Speaking of off the set, by the way, I'll remember my other favorite one in a second. You were phenomenal off the set in that you kept us all very jolly. You would play the piano brilliantly till very, very late at night in the hotel.
Darling, thank you very much, but it was, I think we were all very soused to be able to tell her I played brilliantly.
No, you know you did. And
No, we were I was constantly at that piano. I had great fun in the little Bristol hotel lobby.
I know.
And there was an amazing amount of people you could play to.
You were trained as a pianist, weren't you?
Yeah, for a little while, and then I jutted out on my own and played mostly by ear, actually.
No.
Yeah, I play mostly by ear, and now I just play when
Well, I don't know how you play
soused.
Rachmaninoff by ear, my friend.
You can, actually. You can fool around with the left hand to make it sound like poor old Racky. You just leave out 25,000 notes, and you're doing all right.
I see. Well, it was very entertaining, I must say, and kept us all going.
God. You didn't ever sing in the lobby, did you?
No.
I guess you felt
I was
you'd done
doing enough in the
on
hills,
set.
I think, yes.
That's right.
What about Sweet Richard Haydn? Do you remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Darling
The famous
lad.
Mr. Carp.
Yes.
He'd made his career out of being the fish.
"'Tis unfair, I admit it. But someday that'll be changed. I shall get the fame, too.
He also was somebody that kept us cheerful.
Oh, yeah, he had the greatest stories. He must have come from vaudeville, no? Richard? He must have done the
I
the
actually
vaudeville
don't
circuit.
know, yeah.
Because that was an act that was famous not only on stage but on screen.
Mr. Carr.
Mr. Carr,
Yeah. I don't ever recall seeing it, though.
And he was such an odd, fun choice for that character in the movie, but it worked a treat.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
just wonderful. He belonged.
But he was this sweet, quirky, gentle,
Yes.
funny, astringent man. Does that sum it up? It does, doesn't
I
it?
think it's wonderful. I wish I was him to thank you for that.
I loved him very much. He was darling.
Yeah, I did too. And I loved Eleanor,
Yes.
who was so extraordinarily beautiful. And,
Isn't she?
And
Yeah.
such a sweetie, too.
Yeah, but the only thing that really annoyed me was that everybody was going off to hear these wonderful concerts at the Mozart's house and things like that, and I was so exhausted by the end of the day.
You never went
I
to those
never got out.
rehearsals with Karajan?
No,
Von
no.
Karajan and
Did you?
Yeah, I got to see two.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
yeah, wonderful.
Well, I had Emma being very, very young, and I had her nanny
Well,
with
I
me.
know,
and,
you had all that
And
going
also, I
on.
really was wiped out, but
I don't know how you did it and carried the movie at the same time. It's extraordinary. It
no,
really-
come on, Chris.
Well, I think also Austria brought us all. You know, when we work out of our own environment, if we work in some sort of country that we don't know quite as well as we do our own, and an attractive country like Austria, I think it lifts the morale immediately.
Yeah.
It makes us all feel that we're much more
Yes.
together.
And it was
yeah.
extraordinarily beautiful.
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
I never thought that one could top that opening shot. That was
Yes.
the most extraordinary. You twirling in the Bavarian hills just above Hitler's Berchtesgaden,
Yes,
which
it
was just
wasn't
on the
far
other
from
side.
it. Yes,
no.
yes.
And the ruins of Goering's
Yeah.
house. Was
And
just
do you
the-
remember how much it rained? Were
Oh, God,
It
yes.
never stopped.
Well, we had the föhn. Remember the föhn? We were all
Yeah.
terrible. The föhn in Austria is the moment when actually criminals can get off
For having committed
for
some
having
terrible crime. Yes.
during the föhn, because
Yes.
it's that heaviness that hits
It
the.
comes from Italy, doesn't it? Yeah, I
Well,
think.
it comes over the mountains,
Yeah.
and it shuts all the air, and there's a natural depression. And you have to take pills for it. Actually, I just drank heavily, which got me out of it in no time. But we were all, remember, scared of the föhn.
Yeah.
I think we were a bit mad for a while. At least I know I went
Yes.
slightly
It took a while to
bonkers.
settle in, but I must say it's indelibly printed in my mind. The colours, the feeling, the when there's fresh air in the Alps when it was beautiful. and
Oh no!
all
It's,
of that.
and I've been back many times
Have you?
since.
I've only been back. No, I've been back twice.
Yeah, and I have been back a lot, and
Yes.
I've gone to that festival and really seen the music and loved it.
Mm.
And it looks so prosperous now, the town, and I know that it's largely due to the Sound of
Sound of
Music.
Music,
that-
which
that-
I don't
that-
know. I don't know if
I
the
think it's-
Austrians loved it as much
No,
as they do
didn't.
now. You know.
Well, they probably are grateful to a certain extent, but they did not love the movie.
Yes.
They'd been saturated with documentary film after documentary film about the Trapp family.
And made their own, I think.
And made their own. And
Yeah.
a very good one it was, too, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
And so, what are they going to do? And we were wearing the wrong clothes. They were all too light. Correctly so, because as it turned out, it gave a
Yes.
joyous lift to the movie.
Yes.
But I remember going to Bob and Wise and saying, please, can't I buy, I've got this wonderful, elegant, old dark green Loden dinner jacket that I can buy at Lance.
Yes.
Why not use that in the movie? It's perfectly beautiful and authentic.
Yes.
No, he insisted on
On his
and
colour
actually he
palette.
was quite right.
Yes.
For the rest of the world, it worked that way.
And Dorothy Jenkins, who did the costumes,
Yes.
did such a beautiful job. Do you remember shooting in the Abbey? I do very clearly. That beautiful
Our
Abbey
marriage,
at Montsec.
our
Yes.
marriage,
Yes. One of some of the most beautiful photography. It took Ted McCord like 2 days to just get it lit.
Yes, I know. I was just saying that Ted should have got some recognition and an award for that. He invented that scrim that made Austria not look like a picture postcard. Yes. He made it bright. It made the hills more natural looking. Because if he'd used the sort of Technicolor effect, the hills would have been so schlag. I mean, my God.
Also, I've often spoken about the rain clouds that lent such strength and texture to the film.
Fabulous, yeah.
Yeah, instead
sitting
of being
right on top of you,
on
too.
top of us, yes, and exploding from time to time. I know we were both very anxious about keeping the astringency in the story, because with so many 7 children and the beautiful countryside and the religious aspect and the love story, we thought it would get awfully cloying and sugary. Did you worry about it before we started
terribly.
filming?
I worried from the beginning that I signed my contract. I started to worry about it.
Yeah.
No, but it was important that we worried about it.
Yes.
Because, as I said in an earlier interview somewhere back in 1923, that Robert Wise was our savior in that.
Yes.
In that recipe. He too was afraid of it, and he kept it.
Yes.
He kept the whole thing so unsentimental all through.
Yeah.
He really.
But I think, in all honesty, and I'm not just doing it to flatter you, but I think that first scene in the house when you meet Maria, you set the tone. You were the kind of wonderful, strong glue that held the whole film.
Really, but we all felt the same.
Yeah, but I know we worked on that. Your strictness and my my being so aghast at seeing 7 of them, and not just accepting it blindly, but saying 7 children. You know?
Yes.
In the future, you'll kindly remember there are certain rooms in this house which are not to be disturbed.
Yes, Captain, sir.
Why do you stare at me that way?
Well, you don't look at all like a sea captain, sir.
I'm afraid you don't look very much like a governess.
I loved the fact that Ernie did help me and my character to have some humor and have some sort of ironic, cynical attitude, because the captain was such a sort of wet before Ernie Lehman got to him. Yeah. And that was great help. Great help for me, and it kept it again more human.
And also, the lovely thing is that everybody had he brought a lovely arc to everyone's character. It's not to say that the original show didn't have one too, but I think in the film it was even enhanced more.
Oh, it was much more of a story, and it had more relationships. There was no time in the play. I mean, Mary Martin sang 25 songs, and Theo Bickel, who played the part absolutely beautifully, has a terrific voice, and he plays the guitar like a dream, had very little to say, and then the minute he'd finished, Mary came on and sang another 25 songs. So it wasn't exactly a pièce à deux.
No. You know what we must talk about, and that is the scene in the gazebo when dear Bob Wise had to, well, we tested his patience, I think, to the limit.
Yeah, well, you started off because...
Oh, yes, because you don't remember.
No, I don't remember anything nasty about the film at all.
What it was the love scene in the gazebo between the captain and Maria.
The Reverend Mother always says, when the Lord closes a door, somewhere he opens a window.
What else does the Reverend Mother say?
That you have to look for your life.
Is that why you came back?
Because it was so long ago, they used those huge spotlights, which were called Klieg spotlights, and our director of photography tipped them all the way to the floor, down every column of the hexagonal gazebo. And because they were the carbons inside the spotlights began to sort of rub together, and that's what makes the light, of course.
Yes.
But they, no, don't go there.
Don't go there? Why not? Well, what did they sound like?
Terrible groans.
I love you.
Oh, can this be happening to me?
Have you ever done a song with anyone quite so close in your
No,
life?
you were
our
completely out
faces
of
were
focus.
like,
Yes.
yes, like this. And that also started me going.
No,
because
you know what it was. It was the sounds to start with, and I saw your eyes squeeze down to an F-stop, whatever.
There's also that terrible thought of how could anyone speak? I mean, for instance, if the head nun had sung "Climb Every Mountain" like that to somebody, she'd go up to a nun and say, "Climb every mountain." I mean, it was just ludicrous that we were singing so loud to
But
each
you know
other.
what? We managed all right, I
Yeah, I
think.
did.
Perhaps I had a wicked childhood. Perhaps I had a miserable youth. But somewhere in my wicked, miserable past, there must have been a moment of truth. For here you are, standing there, loving me.
Remember, we had to break for lunch.
Actually, I don't know about you, but
we
I
broke
sort of
for
liked
lunch
it.
because Wise said, "This is ridiculous. Cut. We're going to go."
No,
go
no, and
on."
also Bob said, I think we'd better take a 2-hour lunch, and you'd all better go off and collect yourselves, because we really were.
Yeah.
I was weeping.
But then we came back after
and the
tour.
lights made this terrible
Same
noise
noise
all
again.
over again, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, we just laughed ourselves.
So then, Bob, if you recall, Bob compromised and said, I tell you what, let me pull you into this silhouette shot by the door, and so that your unprofessional, idiotic laughing, if you happen to do it, will not be seen. And of course, it sobered us up somewhat.
And it stuck in the movie because the
And it
movie
stayed in
was
the
a
movie
beautiful
and
shot,
looked
actually.
beautiful, and it
Yeah.
just shows what a great director he was to think of
We
it.
should have done everything in silhouette, actually. But
These days, it would be fine.
Nothing comes from nothing. Nothing ever could. So somewhere in my youth.
Oh, childhood.
So it's now 40 years.
yes, and neither of us are a day older.
How
Isn't
lovely
it
you are.
wonderful? Yes.
But it doesn't feel like it, does it?
No, it doesn't, because it's always there, sort of beating at our door, reminded, because every young generation
Yes.
that grows up sees it.
I know.
I mean,
But it truly feels like about 20 years ago, or
no,
25 maybe, but not 40.
Not 40. No.
It's like 7 children, 40 years.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, we were very young when we did it.
Yeah,
I
of
was
course.
3, and you were a good 12.
But I guess after all that time, we did do something rather good. As Maria and the captain, Maria, it was Maria that said it, I must have done something good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we did.
I must have done